You talking about me?
What you doing? You broadcasting this through Facebook? Okay. Yeah, I share it from my what you using to stream it, to throw the stream out. Like OBS or something like that? Yeah, okay, yeah. 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 Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. I gotta get
Clever
all my
name
shit
that came
set
up with that company too. Yeah. That was a clever name they came up with, the Caster.
up.
They working magic over there. They putting y'all in.
All right, man, we in here, man. I got my boy, special guest in this building tonight. My boy Slim. MTV, Slim the DJ, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, David. My boy
I'm
Smurf,
just
man.
right now, Slimmy Thimmy Slay, man. That's it.
Hey, I'm from the South. That's too many names to say. I'm gonna just say Slim. All right.
Phone there. Let me get myself together. Get this.
My cuz coming in. She said she'd be here in just a second. But tonight, man, what I'm trying to do, dog, is have a conversation. No, not what I'm trying to do. What we're gonna do tonight is have a conversation around pretty much how we was raised in the black community, right? And there's a lot of things that we need to keep, and there's a lot of shit we need to throw away. Only because, like, after like studying other cultures and like reading different stuff, man, like we have a traumatized way of raising our kids, and it's been passed down generation to generation. Not only because of slavery, but because of other shit too, right? So I just want to open the floor, man, and we have an open discussion about this because it need to be said. And if we gonna ever change our position in this so-called race, then it's got to start with us raising how we raise our kids, what we teach our kids, what we show them from day to day. You know what I'm saying? So all that stuff, and we just gonna have a conversation tonight about that, man. Smurf, where you been hiding it though, bro?
Man, in the office, man. You know, sometimes I call it the lab, most call it the studio, but man, I've been in the office, man. You know me. You know what I'm saying? Maintaining, campaigning, looking for all the different ways to make that internet money. You feel me?
Most definitely.
Because that is the way.
Most definitely. Slim, how you been, bro?
I'm glad we having this conversation, man. Looking for this.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, Slim been working, you know, just right now, just working like, you know, I just showed you. I'm trying to get back into doing a little bit more, not necessarily making music. You know, shout out to my homeboy Mari Joe. I consult with him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Give him some pointers, tips, stuff like that, how to navigate the music industry and stuff like that. But really, man, it's trying to get the podcast off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Trying to center myself a little bit, you know, staying out the way mostly. You know, because ain't nothing going on out here. You know how it is where we from, bro. So, hey, trying to keep it in the road, man.
Most definitely. Ain't nothing really popping like that. Too much BS popping, that's for damn sure.
What you talking about?
They be sit their ass down out here, boy. They're making the block too hot.
Man,
hey,
look here. I don't know what the whole fascination with it is, man, but it's like it's getting worse. Like, they don't care about the police being around, about no drug busts, about no roundups and none of that. That's exciting or something. I don't know.
Hey, that's the
I
craziest
ain't with
part.
it.
That's the craziest part. You know, in our generation, we was talking about some old head, right? And the OGs always like keep it quiet, right? Keep it quiet. Don't say nothing. Move silent. When you spend your money, you ain't got to be flashy. But now it just seems like everybody want to be flashy. Everybody want to be the loudest, boy. And it's like, but that ain't how you move when you're out there like that, man. And when the police know your name,
They don't care.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
They don't care. Like, but if you ain't doing all that, you ain't popping though.
I'd rather
that's
pop
the crazy.
Man.
That's how they see it.
Shit, but you ain't gonna get to live it though. That's what they ain't thinking about. You ain't finna get to live none of that shit,
though. That's
man.
the algorithm.
Man, I meant to share this video
on social media right now though.
I meant to share this video earlier, dog. The dude, he be doing a podcast with Charlamagne the God. It's a white guy. I hate to keep calling colors. I'm trying to get away from that shit, but it's a white guy. And he was explaining TikTok and why Donald Trump tried to kill TikTok from being in the United States. So TikTok algorithm, where they live at, right, is catered to people that is building stuff, engineers and stuff like that. Those are the people that get the most likes. So that's what they algorithm look like over there. But when it comes to the United States, the algorithm over here, if you're doing something crazy, if you're doing twerking, if you're dancing, they give you more likes and shit over here. So they give you more showtime, dog. So he was like, that's the warfare. We make the United States dumber through an app. You know what I'm saying? By getting them to do dumber shit. And then over there, we get to give you a round of applause for doing the genius shit that we trying to get people to do. He was like, that's a way to raise the culture and shut down the culture at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental war type thing. People always talking about don't think that deep, man, but it be that deep damn near every time, dog. Like, that shit was crazy. Cuz, your mic on?
I am. I'm just trying to get everything before I get time in. Understand what the conversation at because I was late.
No, you good. You good. But yeah, man, we're gonna jump into the topic, man. And so the topic pretty much is, what do we keep from the old school and what do we throw away? Right? So the things that we learned, the video you sent me, Tressa, was one of the perfect videos. We can start off with that. Slim, we'll go to you after this because you had the perfect segue. So Tressa sent me a video of this older woman saying, like, when her man come home, if she tired, she don't want to have sex, right? So she'll tell him no. And then, like, it'll be an argument ensues. And then she'll just give into it, right? So it's like, damn.
She was just giving into it.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to ask two questions. Were women raised like that? You know what I'm saying? Just to always say yes and to satisfy their man? And is it up for the woman to stand up for herself and just leave it at no? You know what I'm saying? And is it for the man to damn, why I'm just seeing your comment. It's also for the man to, he got to step back too. You know what I'm saying? So about the volume part, I'm just seeing that.
Right. So okay.
But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's have
it sounds good on this end. I don't know how to sound like on that. But Stacey, you're married, so congratulations, newlywed.
Thank you.
So I don't think anyone else is married, but I've been married. Right. And I know from my personal experience, and I try to talk from my own personal experience, that used to happen in my marriage. I was married for 6 years. We were very young, so this is not, we was very young. We was 19, 20. And right. I had gotten to where I just don't want to be intimate. I was tired. I was a mom. I was a wife. I was young. I was stressed out, house stuff, whatever. And I didn't want to be intimate. And so it was times where I would just lay there because, my family, I wouldn't say nobody specifically, but it is understood you have sex with your husband. That's a need. And regardless if you feel like it or not, you're supposed to give it to him. So I've done it. I remember crossing my arms and he just getting up there, and I was so mad. And what that did for me was it built resentment towards my husband. I started to literally hate him. Right. And I told him that. I said, I feel like you're using me. I feel like it's a form of abuse. It's a form of abuse. So he didn't see it that way. He was like, I'm a man and It's been a month since we had sex, and he told me just like this. He said, I will never wait for you again.
What?
And so at that moment, I was like, either I'm gonna keep my husband, so I'm gonna just lay here and let him hunch me and roll over and go to sleep. And that's exactly what would happen. No emotion, no nothing.
It's so much wrong in that motherfucker. Like,
if that is what it is, so much wrong in that. Now that I am divorced, would I ever do that again? Hell no. My future husband, he better not ever try me like that. And if I would have known now what I knew back then, my first husband would have did me like that.
Right.
He would have mad as hell, because that's rape. That is rape.
Indeed,
there's nothing else short of rape.
Indeed it is.
Mm-hmm.
That is textbook definition of marital rape. Because, I mean, and it's also a form of manipulation. You know, like you told me, I'll never wait for you again. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Like you just said, you know, you want to keep your husband. Well, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, me and my wife been together before we got married. We were together for 7.5, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'd say we grew out of that stage. You know what I'm saying? But I never felt like after we got married, like, okay, I want it right now. You got to give it to me, because that's wrong. We both work. We both be tired. You know what I'm saying? And we have other ways of being intimate than just having sex. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's other ways to be intimate with each other without having to do all that. You know what I'm saying? And really, I mean, like we said, I don't want to have sex with somebody who don't want to have sex with me at that moment anyway. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm not getting the same enjoyment out of it. You know what I'm saying? But back to what you said, the main focus of it, you know, I don't know if that's an old school thing. It might be, because it's people that still do that. You know what I'm saying? It's people that do that with their baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's a taught thing, like if it's a learned thing that somebody just learned from their parents, seeing their mama go through that or whatever. You keep a man by doing this and doing that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? But it's definitely something that needs to be done away with. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the type of person you are, and you gonna give it to me whenever I say so, you need to find somebody on that same plane with you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
What you got, Smurf?
That's crazy, man. I just want to ask, man, to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit. Like, what led y'all to not have sex for a month?
Well, that situation, I had just had a baby, but it was after like the 6-week mark, you know? Okay. And it was like, maybe we had just started it, but then I was like, I don't think I'm ready. So we stopped again, you know, dealing with a newborn, and, you know, he was working night shifts. So I had a baby by myself all night. So I just wasn't into it. My body's not right. Things are going on with me. And he didn't understand that.
Right.
And he was like, well, it's been a month, trust us.
But see, that's another thing too, that like men, we aren't taught to look for the emotional signs of a woman either. Like, right, we're not to talk or how to help build her back up to her normal self, because we don't understand the stress that it puts your body through to have a child. You know what I'm saying? So we walking on eggshells already. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time, like, nigga just ready to go. But it's like, you got to take a
postpartum.
Yeah, like my baby mom went through postpartum bad as fuck. Like I didn't know what to do for months with her, because she went through postpartum bad as hell. But it's like, once you see it, you gotta acknowledge that shit some kind of way. You just can't force a person past that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Right.
I wanted to know the same.
It's kind of hard to have this type of conversation with y'all, because y'all some decent guys. Y'all ain't one of the dudes that was like, well, if it was my wife, she my property, she do what I tell her to do.
Hell. But see, I know cats like that.
Yeah, I grew out of this shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I've never been the one. If she was gonna lay there,
I grew out of it.
I can't. If she was just gonna lay there, I could never. Like, it just don't. The shit don't. I can't do it. Like, even to the lazy sex girls.
Right.
Like, I couldn't. I go cheat before I sit there and make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's who I was back then, right? I know it's gonna fuck you up later, but I'm not gonna sit here and force you to do that shit. Like, I can't, man. It's like that shit just.
But honestly, I say that's a form of rape. But do I think that my husband loved me? I think he did, and I think we was very young, and he was trying his best to be a good husband by not cheating on me because he know his body had needs. And so that was his way of like, trust, like, you my wife, like you got to do something.
Take your ass to the bathroom.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt sorry for him too at the same time. But I kind of felt sorry for him at the same time. But women do this in other ways too. Like women do this with men in other ways too. I can't think of any, but there's the other things that we do. Like we won't bring up certain stuff to avoid arguments, even though y'all don't think we do. Like a lot of women don't, but some women do. Like there's some things that we put up with that we think is unfair or is, just to avoid arguments with our men, especially in dating.
Yeah, Nigeria said, I wanted to know the same. I also lost my sex drive after my son, but it came back. He was very inconsiderate. Your first child, Nigeria, or your second child? Or did it happen with both?
It happened with both with me. I think just becoming a mom,
it's a lot of stress to take on in
my
one
thing
time.
Is, yes, it's a lot of stress. Being a wife, taking care of a house, we both doing this together. Like, I don't know, I ain't never took care of a whole house and had kids and everything like that. So that's what mine was.
All right.
Mine was just, I was really stressed out. I was depressed, and I just didn't want to. I didn't feel sick. I didn't want to care about sex. I wanted my bills paid. I was tired of having babies being broke. So we were broke.
That's how it be. But
I was like, I'm tired of just laying in this bed.
See, that's part of the conversation I want to have tonight, because we would talk life lessons. And I perfectly said it this morning. I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was more along the lines of we was taught life lessons to deal with home and not necessarily life. You know what I'm saying? And depression is part of life. Like, we all gonna go through it at some point in time. However many years you live on this earth,
right,
you're gonna hit it at some point in time, but we're not taught how to deal with it. And we were taught not to go to damn counselors and shit like that. Don't talk about what's going on in your house, outside your house. That was one on. Like, it's just... It's a lot of rules that we was given, man, that shit don't serve us at all. You know what I mean? It's more detrimental to us than anything.
Especially with men.
Man, we gonna get to it, but it actually kind of got an old school, like, slave link to it. You know what I'm saying? As far as, like, not talking about what's going on in your house, outside of your house. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But we'll get to that. I feel what you're saying, though. I definitely feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think that's where that comes from a little bit, along with a lot of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you're absolutely right.
To touch on that a little bit.
As far as like the whole depression thing.
Yeah. To touch on that a little bit.
Because think about it. You say turn me down?
No. Go ahead, bro. You good.
As far as like you said, like being depressed, when you was a kid, right, and you looking at your grandparents or anybody like the older people in your family, you never thought that they went through depression. You know what I'm saying? Bouts of depression, anything like that. All you ever said was like, but grandma's strong, granddaddy's strong, but were they really strong?
They were probably suffering like a motherfucker.
Right.
You don't know if you're looking at like a defeated person or a strong person. Sometimes it look like the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's like you said, we was never taught to like talk about your problems, all that kind of stuff like that, because like, toughen up and all that kind of shit that didn't serve us any kind of purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I never ever thought to wonder like, was my grandma ever depressed or was my granddaddy ever depressed? They kind of just got up and made shit happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, the whole psychological part of it, that was never discussed.
Yeah, that that movie with Denzel Washington where he was playing when he said he got that line in there. He said, Daddy, you don't love me. He said, I don't love you. Boy, you eat my food, don't you?
Right.
Like that movie right there played a big part in how I started viewing stuff, because it was like, damn, like we was never showed like, I guess, the soft kind of love. We was more showed the hard kind of love. Like, you a man, you ain't supposed to cry type shit. You know what I'm saying? Or don't worry about it, just get up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? I damn near broke my leg one day. My daddy said, boy, you all right? Get your ass up. The fuck? Like, nigga, my shit hurt. I can't even walk on my shit. You better not cry. It was like, damn, what the fuck? But when you look at it now, it's like, damn, boy, like we was raised to endure some serious shit in life. You know what I'm saying? Just from that point. But growing as an adult, especially me tapping into spirituality, I see how much it don't serve us, right? Because it's like you get stagnated as that 14-year-old boy, that 13-year-old boy that got hurt or traumatized back then, and here you is 45 and you the same goddamn 14-year-old child that got hurt, you know what I'm saying, 30 years ago. It shit is like, it's hard as hell, man.
Can't we talk about how these children these days are so sensitive? Like, they are overly emotional. Like, yes, we are coming to terms with a lot of things. Like we talking about, you know, our parents didn't put us up or whatever, went through a lot more stuff. But these children are like really aware of their emotions to where I think it's gonna end up really bad. It's like, oh, I got a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, and my 10-year-old is not really too much, because I know he'll look ADHD, so he really don't be worried about that too much. But my 12-year-old, he's so like conscious of himself, and he always, and I think it is due to social media, because social media is new to us. Like, we know it's social media, it's people behind phones, but these children don't understand that they're people behind these statuses and
because they've always had it.
Yeah.
Right. This is like real life to them.
Yeah, it's normal to them. Like, this, it's just regular shit.
It's crazy because you got to look at the era now, because we came into artists. We started off with we thought we was the shit. If we had a phone in our room with the long cord, if you had a cordless phone or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But we went the whole era of slow internet to no social media to here go Facebook, here go MySpace. We saw that progress, but
we had that AOL dial-up, nigga. That AOL do.
If you was born in, let's say, 2002 and beyond, or no, let's move it up a little bit. If you was born in, say, like my son born in 2005, he doesn't know life without a cell phone,
right?
Facebook, MySpace, you know, Snapchat and all that came out a couple years ago or so, but he don't know a life that doesn't have social media in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And social media is what people just broadcasting their thoughts, all that kind of stuff. And now you didn't have that.
That's what they thought.
You didn't know what your friend was thinking or what the girl in your class was thinking at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Because what was going on with you last night? You know what I'm saying? Like, they always had it. So that might have something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? That's everybody showcasing their feelings all the time. And everybody receiving them all the time.
I think it's also due to the fact that we're making it okay. But everybody's like, it's making it okay to broadcast your feelings. Now, back in the day, it wasn't. It was always kind of shut down. You know what I mean? Like, even to the point of, as a young child, like, if we got into a fight and lost the fight, daddy took you, or mama took you back up the road, or your big brother took you back up the road. You got to fight that nigga again until you win.
And you fought again.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a mentality thing. You know what I'm saying? That shit wasn't self-serving either, because it was like, nigga, if I ain't know how to fight 10 minutes ago, you think I'm gonna win now? But shit, it's like that shit was normal though, right? Like, and it's, I think some of the shit we do got to take with us. Some of it we got to take with us, but other things like we can leave behind. Nigeria said, I think tough love is the best.
I know, I try to tell them.
Tough love is the best.
I try to tell my boys. You just have to know to turn it off and balance.
Yeah.
Right. But I definitely try to tell my boys, like, we didn't grow up with this. We are learning the internet just like y'all are. So I'm learning everything too, like Google and Snapchat and Instagram. Like, TikTok, this is new to me too. All this information coming at us this fast. So chill out. Like my son actually tells us, I tell them all the time, go Google it, son. So he told me the other day, Mom, Google it. I was like, okay, I got you, touche. But we just coming to terms with this too. Like this is new to us. But I tell my son constantly to remind them, these people ain't studying you. I said, Facebook people constantly talking about stuff, talking about politics or whatever that's in the news. I said, son, don't get it twisted. These people ain't thinking about Andrew Zion. You understand? Like they don't think about you like that. So just to try to ease his anxiety, because it's something else. Like it really does need to be contained.
One thing I can add to that is that they are thinking about Andrew Zion. Because one thing about the social media, what a lot of us haven't fully realized about a lot of social media is the algorithms that you was talking about earlier, cuz. Yeah. That they are really manipulating these algorithms to where anything that's foolish, retarded, stupid is going to be in the forefront of our children's faces.
Most definitely.
So if we don't constantly monitor what they got going on, what they looking at, they can easily slide some BS in front of them, man.
Yeah. Hey, like I was telling bro them, they was like, how your TikTok always be on the good stuff? I said, what you mean? He was like, boy, you find the funniest stories, you find the talented people and all this other stuff. Like even when it comes to the conspiracy stuff, I said it's about what you like. I learned what to press the like to trigger my so that's how I trigger my algorithm. He was like, man, all I see is booty shaking stuff. Like I said, cause every time it come up on your page, you double tap. You double tap every time, and they're gonna keep showing it to you because they want you to stay on this app longer. So what I do is, I'm telling you that I be following a lot of people with conscious thoughts and people that really like speak certain stuff, and so that's how I came across certain ideas and certain topics, man. Because I hate getting on that junk and feeling dumber when I get off. It irks my nerves because it's like, nigga, we got this vast thing called the internet that stretches you from Georgia to Georgia, nigga. It stretches you from here to Saudi Arabia if you wanted it to. But we so conscious, we so taught to look at just 3 or 4.
And you gonna look at ass shaking videos all day.
Yeah, I can't do that shit, man. That shit.
That's what you gonna do with it all day. Infinite amounts of information. And you just gonna use all your data looking at ass shaking all day.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, you can really get on the internet and learn how to make $1 million in 10 minutes and you looking at ass. Man, bump that ass. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it, fam. But that's how I got on the crypto shit, man. Just sitting there Googling crypto stuff. Hey, Stacey, bring that topic back up that you were talking about earlier about the TikTok posts and stuff.
Like you said on TikTok, man, see, my algorithm keep me on positive black people. I got my science kick, my astronomy stuff, all that kind of stuff. But it's this dude, a video went viral. He was like, name something that the black community needs to hear like ASAP. And I made a TikTok where I was like, basically, you know what I'm saying, just because you older than me, don't give you the right to just disrespect me or anything like that. Like the whole respect your elders thing. Just because you was born decades before me, it doesn't give you a one-up over me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you might got some good information in you, but I've seen people flat out disrespect somebody younger than them just because they was older than them. All in the name of respect your elders. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're not, in my mind, if you're not a person that's respectable,
okay,
I don't owe you any kind of respect just because you're an older person. And that includes family members. Like just because your parents had sex before mine does not automatically give you a one-up on me.
But they do have experience in life. Maybe they've been through it. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, if you're a respectable person, look at that.
Right.
But that isn't the eye of the
see, that ain't it. See, let me bring it back. It's just like, okay, it's like if I went to one of my aunts about like some advice and I needed some advice. Now, her telling me something that I might not want to hear ain't the same thing as disrespecting me. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I might need to hear this piece of advice that you give me. But let's just say I got an older cousin that feel like she can just talk shit to me or down me whenever she feel like it because she's older than me.
Right.
Okay.
Hell no. I'm grown too. I don't know, just because, okay, you was grown when I was young, well, I'm grown now.
Right.
You grown too. So we gonna talk to each other like some grown adults, or I'm gonna cuss your ass out. See, that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to just treat me how you want to treat me just because you're older than me. And that's a thing that I see a lot of black people do on the whole respect your elders kick. You feel what I'm saying? But just because you might be good at this one thing, it doesn't mean you get to cross a boundary that I done placed in my life with everybody else. That boundary includes you too. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Boundaries. Learning how to set boundaries with your parents and your friends and that shit there. And a lot of people don't respect it. But
they don't teach you that. See, that's what I'm saying. They don't teach you. I guess that's what it comes down to. They don't teach you that a lot in certain black communities. I know, especially like in the South.
Right.
It's the hierarchy, respect your elders thing. You're not allowed to have a boundary with this person. It's like, oh, that's your daddy. I'm gonna be real with you. That's how my dad is. Me and my dad don't kick it. We don't fuck around. I'm not cool with him, period, because he's on some shit, even though he's never been in my life or anything like that. He feel like because he's my dad, he can talk to me any kind of way he wants to. Like, no.
If you don't mind me asking how old your dad is.
Right.
My dad is 60. Oh, he might be 64, 65, something like that.
Yeah, see, that's the age.
But
my daddy's 70. He like that too.
He ain't quite in the 70s, but like, it's like that to me. I don't like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially with the addition that, you know, we wasn't kicked like tight like that growing up. Right. So I get older, I'm trying to build a relationship with you for me and my kids. You know, my kids can know their granddaddy, stuff like that. And you might just fly off the rails and say some crazy shit and think I'm just going to accept it. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Right.
Wait a minute. I'm an adult now.
I definitely think that's that era because my father-in-law was like that. Yeah, he was like that.
It's like they grew up in the era of real uncensorship. Like they could say whatever they wanted to say. And my daddy said something to me with my kids one day, bro.
It's passed down. I guess his daddy was like that with him, so he felt like he can be like that with me.
Right.
Hell no. No. I'm not going for that.
It's what I had to tell my sons when I was hanging out with my dad, because he said something and my son looked at me. He looked at me because like my daddy was kind of like beside me and I squared up with the nigga and I had to think, boy, your kids right here, like you can't. And I was like, I got to explain this to my kids because it's an era that my daddy grew up in. It's just unfiltered and they don't really care what they say. You know what I'm saying? And like, to piggyback off that, my daddy gave me a story one time. He was like, his dad never called him by his real name. He always called him boy. Like that's part of that. That's part of that I don't know what the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
the slave program. That's the slave program.
There you go. That's what it is.
He always called him boy, and I was like, damn, why would you not call your son by his name? And I catch my daddy doing it, and it's like now that I understand, it don't bother me as bad. But it's like I get where he get it from. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit crazy. What you were saying, Smurf, about the slave program?
But that's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's part of the whole slave programming. You feel what I'm saying? Right. You come from always getting put in your place. You get demasculinized your whole existence, especially down here in the South.
Right.
One thing about it, when you down here in the Confederacy and as a black man, there was an identified position for you. And the white supremacists in these areas made sure to let you know at every given chance that they could what place you stood in this society.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that built up frustration and anger that you ain't have nowhere to express like that because you probably ain't have no money to travel. You probably ain't have no money to go and buy all the good stuff that you want to buy in order to make yourself feel worth something. A lot of times you take that anger and that resentment back home.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
You take those same rules of engagement to your children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then and to make it worse now, you know, we talking about psychology as far as depression, stress, and all that. They ain't know what the hell none of that was. Half of them couldn't read.
That too.
So now you got an angry, frustrated, illiterate person who don't understand anything they got to do with psychological trauma, bringing home all their anger and frustration on their family.
Right.
And they don't nobody know how to express it. All they know how to, mama tried her best. She tried to, hey baby, you know, it's gonna be all right. You know, they try to talk soft. That's their way of expressing that it's gonna be all right, but not fully giving you the game because they ain't know it.
Right. Right.
You ever heard, you know, Bernard King, the basketball player, old school basketball player, 912? You ever heard of?
I don't think so.
It's who Michael Jordan wanted to play like, bro. My man was a dog, bro. I watched his 30 and 30 dog. But listen, the whole time he was in the NBA, nobody, or in college, all that, he had a real bad drinking problem because he would talk about like his parents. He was like, he grew up in a house where he never heard his parents say that they love each other. They never told him that they loved him. Like none of that. He was like, they had no kind of family dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And you think about it, you don't know how many people in these black communities grew up like this. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you said, bro, depression, all this, they didn't even know what any of this was. They didn't have anybody to talk to about it because the homeboy going through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy hearing him talk about how his family was, because then you wonder how some people are the way they are. It's like, why is that just a sour ass person? But you don't know how that person grew up. You know what I'm saying? They probably was, their mind was conditioned to be like that.
That's what I was saying the other day. I was thinking, like, we can't assume that everyone's common sense is common sense because they're raised differently. They experience, so someone may say something or do something or act a certain way, and you think, oh my God, like they don't even realize that that's rude, or they don't even realize that's disrespectful. But they may not realize that it's disrespectful. So I was telling myself, like, I really have to, especially dealing with the public, like what I do a custom service, I provide a service. I have to really remember, like, maybe they didn't mean to be rude, but that was really rude. I have to understand that everybody's common ain't common, and what I experienced, they probably didn't experience.
Right.
Which is, you know, be kinder, be nice.
I had a conversation with a couple of my people that was my age and older, and majority of them was older, and I had a conversation with them about they never heard their daddy say I love you to them, and it didn't hit them until we had that conversation, and you should have seen the stunned look on their face, because they had to sit there and like really think, like, damn, I never heard that from my daddy. It's like I always heard it from mama, I always heard it from grandma, but I ain't never heard it from my daddy. You know what I'm saying? And my daddy used to say it at one point in time, but he would say it all tough and shit. Love y'all, man. Like it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? So I made it a business. It's my business that every time I see my kids, no matter what, I say, hey, I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Love you. Like, and I make sure I say it. And when I first started doing it, I used to get chills because it was so uncomfortable for me at that time. But now it's to the point where it's like, it's just part of conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that was just one of them. And it's pretty much us breaking generational curses doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like acknowledging the fact that we missed something, or something could have been done a tad bit better. So that's how you breaking the generational curses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, it feels good. It most definitely feels good, bro. Actually, it's just different. Smurf, I know you got one.
I ain't, to be real with you, me and my mom, bro, like, we ain't really start saying I love you until I got to college. And the reason for that was because we grew up hard. You know, my grandma and my mama and them, they grew up out the woods. You feel me?
Yeah.
They came out them boonies, bro. You know what I mean? So they was used to seeing strange fruit and, you know what I'm saying, seeing all the racism and hearing about people dying or people disappearing and stuff. So it was almost like, to them, saying I love you mean, damn, you about to die soon?
Right.
You going somewhere? So it's almost like they kind of preparing themselves for if something tragic was to happen, because like you say, a lot of us coming from, especially from down here, we trauma based.
Right.
Everything come from a state of trauma, a state of survival. You did what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, dang, just to having that frame of reference for them. I used to be resentful of it because I'm like, dang, man, why things ain't the way it's supposed to be? But then we got to understand as the newer generation. But sometimes we forget the privilege we have of having access to this knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely a privilege.
Because like we really are the generation that's supposed to right the wrongs. You know what I mean? Pick up the slack for the stuff that they didn't do because they job was to survive and get us here.
Yeah.
Right.
Say that. That's deep. Never like that. Yeah.
That also speaks to the point of, like, I tell a lot of people too, hey, love your parents for what they gave you because that's all they had. Like just think of a lemon, nigga, and they squeezed all the juice out of the motherfucker they could. Just throw some water on that motherfucker, throw a little sugar in there to make the lemonade. You know what I'm saying? You got to love them for what they gave you. And it's like I said, it's not to negate the elder generation, but these conversations got to be had so we can hash that shit out and say, okay, this got to go. And one of the things that I've been saying lately, dog, is kicking your kids out of 18. Boy, listen, we set ourselves so far behind with that shit, mentally, emotionally, because it's the thought process of, before I graduated, I couldn't stay out late because you said I wasn't old enough to do this, and the third. 4 months later, I graduate. Now I'm grown. I got to get the hell out of the house. I ain't learned shit in 4 months, my nigga. I ain't learned shit in the last that 12th grade year. I ain't learned the damn thing because half the time I was just chilling. We was going to the parties. I was trying to get old girl with the big booty in the corner. Like, we ain't learned nothing. You know what I'm saying? And school don't teach you shit. You know what I'm saying? School teach you the basic information so you can retain the information to maybe hopefully get a job, you know what I'm saying, or do enough math that you can pick enough cases at them dot foods, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't learned nothing, man. You got to get the education part of life at that point, or gradually give it to your kids as they get older. But that 18 and grown shit, man, that need to be X'd out, like, for real.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I have plans for my children to stay here as long as they need to. And at first I was like, well, as long as they doing something, as long as I see them progressing, but yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna say
really don't like that, but
I'm gonna say this too, but I watched the video and they was like, how it should be is little girls stay with their parents until they get married. So if it's 25, 35, whatever, they stay with their parents till they get married. The girl that is getting married, her daddy is supposed to pay for the wedding. I've never heard that shit. I've never heard that shit until a couple weeks ago.
Parents paid for the honeymoon.
Yeah. I ain't never heard that shit, bro.
And also, when you ask a woman, yes, the engagement ring is supposed to be 3 months of his salary.
Yep.
That's how much it's supposed to cost.
What?
Yep.
Boy, I ain't never getting married, boy. What the fuck? Yeah, no. That shit dead.
When me and Sheree were first talking about getting married, and she said that shit, I said, "Boy, you still gonna have a fucked up ring."
Yeah. They give you a paperclip with it. Hey, get one of the ring pops.
You might want to wait for me to get another job. You bullshit. You about to bullshit yourself.
Damn.
Yeah, don't eat it all at once, baby. Don't eat it all at once.
And they got their ring pop, boy. A Jolly Rancher with some lifesavers or something attached to a necklace. Shit, hell. I ain't never heard that part, man.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in that.
Yeah. All kind of crazy. Yeah.
Shit, no.
Hey, man, I had a homegirl from Cameroon, man. Like, she was telling me over there where she from, like, you have to pay for your wife. Like, you just can't have no wife. Like, you have to pay the whole family a couple goats, ox, some yams, whatever you had on deck, you had to pay them. But you better have some cows. You had to at least have 3 cows, I know. But you got to pay for your wife, or else they ain't gonna let you have the marriage. They ain't gonna let you marry their daughter.
Wow. Now we on our knees now proposing to men, not I, but they doing it.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, to be honest, but it ain't gonna happen to me. I can't.
Wait a minute. So you waiting on her to get on her knees for you?
No, hell Hell no.
Like if a woman actually got on her knee and invited your family and was like, "Well, her little heel," will you? You would feel some kind of way.
You got to say yeah. You got to say yeah right there at the moment. You got to give her that talk afterwards.
Hey, listen. Hey, she gonna know dealing with me.
Say that shit sound real bad. You just like you gonna go out like a real
sucker. Yeah. Hey,
I was about to play devil's advocate, but I was set up.
But listen. You gonna know, a woman gonna know within a couple months to a year of dealing with me that I ain't gonna go for no shit like that. I would never, dog. I feel like I'm wearing panties that day, bro. Like I don't.
Standing up there like this and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
be like, oh, but in that video, y'all set me up.
It's got to be a prank or something. Like, I can't do it, dog. I can't do it. But the reason why I said I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but because I think it's breaking tradition, man.
I want to know.
Like it's just breaking the idea that a man's supposed to do it, right? And it's like a lot of men get that shit wrong. Like we truly get it wrong. And if you in the stats and statistics and numbers, you see that women that go after that man, they relationships last longer. But like I'm just up. It's just time up for me with all the stigmata. You know what I'm saying? With it's just a man thing or it's just a woman thing. I mean, it's both ways. But I don't think women should get on their knee. I think it should be something totally different. That getting on your knee stuff. That shit throw me, man.
No. Let them get on their knees. Let them get on their knees.
Nah, that shit throw me.
Wait on it.
Nah, boy, that shit throw me.
Definitely go to me.
I'm telling you, she'll be mad.
I told you how I felt about.
Hey, listen, because I would have to say no, dog. In front of the whole family, I would have to say no, bro. I could not say yes to that shit. I got to. I'm like, I'll be sitting up. What the fuck? Nah.
You gotta just have an emergency ring in your pocket for that shit. Just ready for it. Like in a little goat pocket or something. Listen, you gotta already have a ring, but you ain't proposed yet. Just you gotta have it on you 24/7.
Yeah, I already got my plan. If somebody ever try to propose to me and I'm not ready, when they get on the ground, as soon as I notice that they're on the ground, I'm gonna roll on the ground with them. That's how I'm.
But what if you think that's a yes though? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's different, but if I know I ain't feeling him, and I turn around and his ass, I'm finna fall on the floor with him. I'm gonna fall on top of him and laugh.
And nigga Charles said I got the. Hey, the nigga Charles said I can't say no. Why I can't say no, bro? Shit, bro, I'm telling you, dog.
As soon as you say no, the relationship over with. I'm telling you, that's a wrap. You done embarrassed that person in front of everybody. It's over.
Shit, don't do that.
Counsel criminal.
Don't do that.
That's why you got to go ahead. Say yeah at the time, and then afterwards, you got to give them that talk. Like, hey man, look, now, you know, goddamn well, I ain't ready for this. We ain't on that.
You put me on the spot, goddamn. You put me on the spot, goddamn. We gonna have a long engagement.
That's what I was gonna say. What, you gonna have a long engagement? Shit, you gonna be engaged for 2.5 years?
My wife wasn't going for that shit. My wife started planning the wedding after I proposed. I went to the bathroom, came back. They had notebooks out and shit. Damn. Y'all gonna make sure I ain't making a mistake, huh?
Period. But you change your mind.
Y'all looking up videos and shit.
Mama came with the whole book bag and the kid, ain't it? These gonna be the colors. Hey, wait a minute. What about what I thought? Hey,
boy, listen. Boy, I ain't had no arguments. Go for it. See,
Hey, okay. So that's another thing that I always found trouble with for me personally, because I want to participate in my wedding, like the design and all that. My shit gonna be laid. It's part of me. So is that a tradition that we've seen, that women just take over the wedding and do what they want to do, and men don't? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you gonna be hell, cause God told me.
I know I am. I tell.
Let us have us. The wedding is ours.
Yeah, the wedding is the woman.
Our daddy supposed to pay
Slim gonna
for
make
it.
a confession about himself. Okay, I that ain't my brain. My brain work in science and mathematics and shit like that. All that colors and designs and shit like that. Hey, I pretended like I had an opinion. I didn't. I agree with everything. Think about these colors. Oh yeah, that look fire. That look fire.
Right. Just stay on that direction and be like,
I ain't got no opinion on this.
Yeah.
And my wedding was nice as hell, but goddamn, boy, listen.
It was
very
nice.
That was 100% the wife. Goddamn. The only idea I had was I gotta have me some Stacey Adams on, some different shoes from everybody else. That's the best idea I had. That was it. I ain't pick no colors, no flowers, no nothing. See, nope. She said, we gonna take a picture with a horse. A horse? Horses, nigga. Got their ass up on a horse for his wife. But it came out good though.
Oh no, bro. I ain't with that just sitting back, dog.
But see, like I said, bro, that ain't my mind. I can't do all that designing and shit. Nope, that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? That's my 100% heard.
What about you, Smurf? You gonna sit back and just take the easy road?
I mean, you know. I might have to, because at the end of the day, man, let's just keep it real. The marriage, the ceremony of marriage itself, it is the woman's thing. Like, they want it way more than what us men want.
Right.
So leave it to us. All right, let's just go take a trip somewhere exotic. We parlay, I kiss your hand, you feel me? Might have a little sand, big cookout, and that's it. That's all we need.
Right.
But all the glitz and glam and flexing in front of all the family and stuff like that, that's the woman's job. That's what she want to do.
That nigga Smurf basic as hell though. But okay, let me play the devil's advocate then. So if the wedding is for the woman, what's for the man?
His first son.
The honeymoon.
His first son. His first son. Well, you batting up. It's a 50-50 chance, nigga. You ain't necessarily gonna hit the first son.
But I'm saying,
I will say this. I will say this. I was responsible for the reception, goddamn, because I said, hey, we can have this nice, elegant wedding. Absolutely. But my reception gonna be ratchet. I don't give a damn. I pick the DJ, I pick the bartender, I invite the guests. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My wedding was nice. It was nice as hell. We still gotta get the video and shit right, but it was nice. Now the reception. Hey, you should have been there. You should have been there. Hennessy, you know I'm a Sigma, so we had gallons upon gallons of blue juice.
Okay? Oh, Lord, boy. No nigga couldn't stand up after that shit.
It got real outrageous at the reception. That's all I'm going to say.
That's what's up. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Stacey, you can choose the answer or not, because I know you just got married or whatever. But you guys, if y'all were, you get married, how would you feel if your wife did one of them little sexy dances at the reception? Because I feel like that is extremely inappropriate.
What you mean sexy dance? You got to explain that a little bit.
I think I know what you're referring to. I think I know what you're referring to. Is it like when the wife had came out and she had on some whole other shit? And
she'll have like her bridesmaids bending over and twerking, and she'll give him a lap dance in the reception in front of all the family. I feel like that's a little.
No, we ain't doing that. I be on my ghetto shit, but I'm more classy than that.
We ain't doing really like that.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
Because I don't think that any man would like enjoy getting a lap dance from their wife in front of all of her family.
We gonna enjoy it, but it just depends on what you got on. You feel me? Like,
right. You know what I'm saying? Like you said.
Like what you got on?
You can dance sexy. You, my wife, you can dance sexy with me at our
in front of your homeboys.
Yeah.
But I've seen some shit where like the wife, the bride, like changed clothes and she was in some whole other get up, and I'm like, man, that's a whole lot for the wedding reception. Like, that's some shit you're supposed to break out when we get back to the room or wherever we going. You know what I'm saying? You go in the bathroom, come out. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how we gonna bring the marriage in, but not like awesome. I don't want you to do no strip tease in front of me, in front of my friends and all that kind of shit. Now, you know, we did a little garter belt thing. He was on the leg. Twinny ruined it, but you know.
I ain't doing that garter belt shit either. I'm not doing that shit.
I mean, that's traditional. I'm not, getting the garter off.
That's one of the things I don't understand that shit. I don't understand it, and I don't want to participate in it. She got a whole marriage.
It's Christian, cuz.
It's what?
Carlos Patterson said she got the whole marriage to twerk for me in private. Right.
But like one of my things was like for me and one of my exes was supposed to get married, and I found a dance online that was a very sexy salsa dance that I wanted to do with her. Like that, but outside of that, we ain't finna do no. If you gonna twerk for me, we going back to the room. I got a bucket of ones to goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Got to get this shit off my chest. We finna have some fun. You feel me?
Right. Now I think the father-daughter dance is nice because your father's giving you away or whatever. You becoming a woman, so dance with him. For the last time. As a little girl or whatever. But that twerking and bending over, and my homegirl, laying on her in front of honey.
Me per se, I find the father-daughter dance to be weird too.
Stresser, it got a little ratchet at my wedding.
Well, I just I don't know.
What's he
charged? I mean, everybody can dance, but I'm not dancing on my husband.
But
in front of everybody.
It was just more fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
She danced on me, but it wasn't like no crazy ass
Magic City shit,
Right, you know what I'm saying? We danced to the song. Back was on. Shit, back. Shit, we here dancing.
Right.
It wasn't like
nothing outrageous.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think they get a little too wild with these little wedding dances, but to each his own.
I think I seen a clip of what you referring to, though. That shit was a little bit too much. Like,
yeah.
But we live in a viral age, man. Everybody trying to go viral. Everybody pushing the envelope nowadays.
There you go.
But see, I'm with
my daddy to see me sexy.
Charles said he want a small wedding with just a couple of his real ones and toes in the sand. And I'm telling everybody, I'm broadcasting it right now. I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna just pop up married one day. Y'all niggas really ain't gonna know. That's just me. That's just me, dog. Like for real. Like even the fact that, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't post my kids on social media like that. Like, it's a lot of shit that I'm just not gonna do for my mental health and well-being. You know what I'm saying? But like I promise y'all, I'm gonna just pop up married one day, and then we're gonna have like a wedding / reception thing at the end. Alright, that's it.
Right.
And it ain't gonna be a whole bunch of invites.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very, very few motherfuckers I know that's gonna have fun, and we gonna, you know what I'm saying, and we gonna get down. You know what I'm saying? Like other than that, bro, I don't see spending all that damn money, boy. Hell no. The amount of money
people. Let me tell you something, boy. Hey.
See, there you go, Slim.
Don't do it, boy.
Hey, you solid.
And I'm gonna tell you why, bro. I'm gonna tell you why. Cause my wife wanted this, she wanted that. I'm talking about she see the vision. And the thing is, unless you got fucking whoever did Kanye West wedding or something, bro, it's never gonna come out the way that you see it in your head. The way that you envision it, it's never gonna get there. I don't give a damn how much money you spend, dog. So do what works for you. That's all I can do.
Almost definitely.
It was fun. It was cool, but for them couple of hours, that's a whole bunch of damn money for a couple of hours.
Thank you, bro. We can make a small investment somewhere, goddamn. Let's do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't do that shit.
It was fun. I'm not even gonna say that it wasn't worth it. All I'm saying is that's a lot of damn money for a couple of hours. That's all. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Slim saying, "Hey, she happy." That's all I can say. He gonna leave the rest of it alone.
Know what's going on.
Nah. But anybody got anything else to add to the original topic? Like, what's some things that we can leave in the past? You know what I'm saying? And move forward with better, or got any ideas how to move forward better? Either one. To better the community. We can
start listening to these babies when they say that they don't like the family members. That's one thing we need to start doing. Stop questioning the children and taking their word for it.
Bingo.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Ain't no questions that. They said they did it. They did it.
Yeah. I never understood that shit.
Don't be like, I don't think my baby a lie. We ain't thinking your baby gonna lie. Believe them.
We need to be more understanding of our children instead of just being so rigid with them. Because you know, like you said, we all from the same kind of era. You know what I'm saying? You didn't question nothing your mama said. You didn't talk back. You didn't do any. Even if you felt like you had a real good, reasonable rebuttal, you know what I'm saying? But like, no, like you feel like this is a really good reason to say what I need to say, and you get your ass whooped or you get cussed out or whatever. Yeah. Like that shit needs to absolutely stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because like I'm not like that with my children. You know what I'm saying? Like I let my children know off the rip. You can talk to me about anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. Even if you feel scared to talk about it, talk to me. We can sit down and we can figure this shit out together. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like, you know, my son or my daughter, you know what I'm saying, is like scared to talk to me because out of fear of me snapping on them. Right. So I'm like, what if it's really some trouble and shit they need to get off of their chest and they scared, like you just said, listening to the babies. You know what I'm saying? What if a family member doing something to them and they scared to tell me because I'm gonna cuss them out instead of going to check the shit? It just gonna keep on going. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Like we absolutely got to get out of that mind state. That is catastrophically wrong shit. That ain't it.
Yeah. Stop leaving your kids with your partners or in public places. You will be amazed. I work in a barber shop. I'm the only female stylist there. I'm the only female there. It's so many young girls come in and be like, "Oh, the two oldest ones getting their haircut. I'll be back," and leave. Girl, why is you leaving your kids in the public? We are working for one.
That's how we grew up, though.
Like, and we gonna let them go.
But that's how I was raised.
These people are responsible for your children. Even if you leave them here, if they go out and walk out the door, it's not my job to stop them. You should have been there to stop them. I'm sitting here cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Right. I got to focus on my job. Yeah.
Now I got to babysit and hey, stop that little man and fuck around and mess this man face up. Like, that's wrong.
That's how I was raised up, though. My mama always dropped us off. I don't remember my mama staying there. R.I.P. to Miss Paralee. She was like the only female. Nah, we weren't no babies.
You was raised to sit there and not say a goddamn word. You better sit there and not say nothing, or you gonna get your ass whooped. So you better sit there like a good little boy and sit up straight up and not say anything.
The village was strong back then.
Yeah, Miss Paralee didn't play that shit.
Like you said, the village was stronger because it might be somebody else in here. And they gonna tell on your ass. So you better sit there and not say anything.
Hey, Miss Paralee. Hey, Shosky and Big Yo.
That's something I hope that we shouldn't have done away with, that we done away with.
Yeah, the village
part. The whole village.
Yeah.
But think about it. What's one of the main things one of the young mamas to tell you? Don't tell me how to raise my kids, or don't tell them to stop, or some crazy shit. I was hanging with my homegirl, man. We hanging out bullshit. She got her kids out here. They supposed to be fishing or whatever, man. So it's a duck going by. So the little boy finna throw a rock at the duck, and I said, "Man, don't do that. What you doing?" He looked dead at me and said, "You can't tell me what to do." And I was like, before I knew it, I blew on him anyway.
Yeah.
I blew on him anyway. But I told him, but while I was blowing on him, I was telling him why not to do what he was finna do. But she wasn't saying a damn word to me or him. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, why aren't you stopping him from doing this and you know it's wrong? You feel what I'm saying? Cause we had like a public space. You can't just harm the ducks in a pond in a public space. You'll go to jail for that shit.
Now
you about to throw a big ass something at the duck, and I'm like, whoa.
Now, what if he felt like you was just trying to assert your authority to her child because you were older? And she probably taught her child not to do that, going back to what you was talking to earlier. Now, I don't believe that. I wouldn't have said I would have corrected my son. But that's the thinking of a lot of these young mamas. Like, he can't say nothing to you because he don't do nothing for you. You go, and they tell their kids that. You get what I'm saying?
That mentality got to leave though, man, because like I remember, man, like coming up, everybody know us when we was younger. We had a bunch of bicycles in the hood and shit. I couldn't go nowhere on that side of town from MLK, 5th Ave, 4th Ave, 2nd Ave, without a family member being on that street or somebody knowing my mom and them close enough, even to the point of the barbershop. Shots be like, boy, y'all know y'all mom ain't finna play that shit. Y'all know how Jackie is. Like, right? What's wrong with correcting that person at that point? You know what I'm saying? That whole, you ain't doing nothing for me, so you can't say nothing. That's the stupidest shit ever. Like it's like, to me, it's like a tricking personality type thing. Like, it's a tricking mindset. Or if you're doing something for me, you can tell me to do something, but you tricking. Like, that's like you trading something for something. Like, what's wrong with just getting the information? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with the correctness? Like, just being corrected in your spot. You know what I'm saying?
Problems with authority, and a lot of young moms have a problem with authority.
I think it's more daddy issues.
And they have daddy issues. We got daddy issues. I got daddy issues. I'm working on them, but I got them. And so I really think that's a problem with authority. You don't want nobody telling you nothing. You don't want nobody telling your kids nothing, and you don't want nobody telling you nothing about your kids.
Right.
And that's, you have
no matter how wrong they are, no matter what kind of crazy shit they did, it's like you feel like you gotta. Don't talk to him like that, or don't tell me how to raise. I done heard the whole gamut of crazy ass comments and stuff to say. It no matter what the situation is, they go right back to that shit. And it's like, man, that's a bad mind frame to be in, because once you get stuck in that, you ain't gonna never come out of it. It's just like when people say, I'm down with you whether you're right or wrong.
Yeah, that's...
You know how harmful that thought process is, bro?
Right.
If you wrong and I know you wrong, I need to tell you that you wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't need to be right there standing with you when you wrong as hell. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I don't support that at all. That you want to talk about stuff we need to let go of. We need to let go of that bullshit.
Yeah.
That bullshit that got more niggas locked up and killed and in bad situations than anything.
Yeah.
You my dog. I'm with you whether you're right or wrong. Okay.
Yeah. I think they go to what Charles talking about too when he said niggas in the street letting kids get in the streets. Man. Boy. Boy, when I was in certain places, boy, they was like, they knew my mama house had the red tips. Boy, you better get back to that damn house. Like, don't even come over here with that shit. Like, we ain't finna get in trouble for it. Like, they felt like my mama would check them behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
It is.
Most definitely gonna do that. But I don't know, man. We ain't got the checks and balances like that no more either. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to just, like, what Charles saying, like, about respecting the elders, I don't think we have, like, how we do certain shit in front of the elders, or we don't take care of them no more. I think that's a major issue too. That's a major problem too.
And one thing about it, man, you know, a couple of my mentors who I follow, one of them in particular, he brought up a good point in that video I was telling you about. Matter of fact, that same video I tagged you and Trust now.
Yeah.
He was like, man, us as black people, we got to learn how to separate the elders from the olders.
There you go.
Oh, okay. That's perfect.
What I mean by that,
it, bro.
Yeah, that's perfectly said right there. Yeah.
That's perfectly said.
You feel me? An older is just somebody that's just older than you. An elder is somebody that actually put you on game. They provided some type of value to your life. You know, so they gave you some type of heritage. You know what I'm saying?
They have a legacy of respect that follows them. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right.
They're not in this position on accident. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They're a well-respected person. You feel what I'm saying? So like you absolutely right. I fuck with that. That.
You know, like if we ain't got no incentive to respect you, then you can't expect respect. You feel me? You won't do nothing, but you want to come and give me your 2 cents on your perspective that I don't follow or benefit from at all.
Right.
Right.
Come on, man.
I'm finna play some audio. The audio I sent y'all earlier, I think it's perfect for it. Let me see if I can find it. My girl, Love Dorsey, man. She always on some game, and I think this is it's gonna tie perfectly into what we talking about, and then we gonna jump up off of here. Get this thing up out of here.
White people, our parents really didn't have it figured out.
Hold up. Make sure I got the volume turned up on this. I got to start having these damn videos pulled up on the dang screen because I be wanting everybody to make sure they hear it. All right, here we go.
Our parents really didn't have it figured out. Like, they were just doing the best they can. And it's like, when you realize that, that's when you start listening to people in the world. You know how you see an 18, 19-year-old and they stop listening to mama said do this, or your daddy said, and they start really just doing their own thing, and we look at it as defiance. But that's that moment when it click in their mind that, especially for urban people, my mama ain't got no bunch of generational wealth. She ain't got no bunch of money. If I needed a rack right now to do something, or if I wanted a car or to borrow 10,000, she ain't got it. So really, all the shit she was telling me was just her surviving day to day. I got to get out here in the world and figure this shit out. And then we realized, like, we wasn't taught stress management. We never had no conversations about how emotions will fuck your life up if you make decisions based. This is stuff that we wasn't taught. We taught how to cook, clean, match up your clothes, make sure your drawers clean, don't leave out the house without brushing your teeth, shit like that. But nobody said, like, you could be going through a heartbreak in a relationship and be overwhelmed with emotion, but you still got to take your ass to work. And if you go to them people's job acting crazy, they will fire your ass. You won't be able to pay your bills. As your mama, I don't got no money to pay your bill. You will be homeless. You have to come back here. People will start judging you because you live at home. Like, nobody's saying this shit. Nobody's saying, like, if you don't have credit, you're going to have to work your ass off to buy everything because people are going to look at you like if you ain't got the money, you ain't got nothing. This just the real shit that's just not being taught. Our parents really didn't.
What y'all think about
Right.
that? Love be giving us some major, boy. Love be giving us some major game, boy, for real.
Yeah.
That's some real ass shit that you just said, bro.
Yeah.
She said it.
And that shit just comes from the generation that shit started in slavery and went all the way into Jim Crow and all through that shit. And that shit just stuck, bro. That shit just stuck.
That becomes when we got lazy and start putting our kids in these schools and not teaching them nothing ourselves. Like you said, paying more attention to our kids, spending more time with our children, learning their dislikes and likes. You know what I'm saying? That's where that came from.
Being more understanding of your children instead of just feeling like you just the ruler. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I say, go. Right. Fuck that shit. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I know some people that raise their kids like that, and a lot of them resent their parents. You know what I'm saying? They don't come home that often. All that kind of shit. They love their mama or whoever, but they don't come around like that. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of shit, man. You know, you see that shit.
Right.
It's crazy.
I think a lot of that shit played to slavery too, man. But it's the notion of not wanting to let go of something that my mama said or my grandma said, because like even when it come, I'm gonna get into that religion topic one day, and I'm gonna get into it so deep that y'all can't refute what I'm saying. But I've heard ministers say, and I mean pure ministers say, well, I know my grandma ain't lead me wrong, even though I know this, and this about the Bible, even though I know this, and this is wrong about the Bible, and they still roll with it. It's like not wanting to let go of these old ideas, no matter how harmful they could be.
We can definitely go there one day. You'll have to let me prep for that. But we can definitely.
I told Smurf the same. Smurf been wanting me to do it, bro.
I'm gonna lose some friends. I'm gonna tell you don't want to do that with me.
Me and Smurf been egging me on to do it, bro. Like I told him, I got to sit down and re-go through some old information from me, but also gather some new stuff. But it's like, it's certain ideals that we hold fast to, man. Like we got to get rid of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like even with my cuz said, man, I love my cuz to death. Quant love, man. When he said that shit the other time we was on that live trestle, and it was like that scripture that he gave us about if the woman used to be married, then you can't marry her again because it's adultery or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's ideas like that that's in the Bible that's been passed outside of the Bible that we deem is biblical. Even with the shacking up shit. Yeah, like even with the shacking up rule, I'm like, yo, we don't know who niggas is no more. We can take them out on dates and we can talk to them for months and months on end. But until you live with a person, you don't know who the fuck they is, man. You gonna be sitting there. Right. Oh, I done married this girl, and 3 years down the line, she gonna do some fugazi ass shit, and you gonna be like, the hell? Because you never seen that side of her. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how they act in stress. You don't know how they act when they overly loved and overwhelmed. Like you don't understand all that stuff. Like it's just a lot of shit they need to get rid of. I don't think we can do all that shit in one podcast. I think we hit the main ones though. What you thinking?
I want to hit a main one real.
Go ahead, bro.
Nobody about the Bible.
Man, look. One thing we need to hit on, man, is all these young girls having babies. That shit ain't cute, man.
Preach.
Having kids without the means to support yourself and your kids is not cute. That shit is not good for your well-being. It's not good for the child. It's not good for the family. And I'm not blaming the women, the boys that's doing it with them. Y'all just as much to blame. But the youth, man, y'all got to stop that shit, man. Because one thing about it, when you out there struggling with your baby, it's not your family responsibility to take care of your kid.
What you say?
Now, granted, now the family, we can help, but you got to realize we got our own lives, we got our own responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? You can't come impeding on what we got going on as a family to support you in your mistakes, because your mistakes aren't our mistakes.
You and your bullshit, because that's what it is.
Your decisions.
For real.
That's just being real. That ain't cute.
That's right. I'm gonna say this. We gonna have to teach our kids at a young age how to control their parts, especially with our younger boys. Yeah. Right? And a small conversation ain't enough to cover that whole entire topic in any kind of way. This has got to be an ongoing conversation. Sex ed that they teach us at school, that ain't talking about shit. It just made me intrigued that now I want to go see what's going on.
Okay, now let's tie it back. Let's tie it back to the whole reason why we was having we had this whole podcast, right?
Yeah.
Could you really just go and talk to your parents about having sex when you was coming up?
Hell no.
Yeah, nah.
Not
you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it blew up in my face.
You couldn't talk to your mama about you got sexual urges and all that kind of shit. She gonna lock your ass in the crib.
Hell,
which ain't gonna make the urges go away.
Hell no.
Only gonna make you a sneakier person and all of that kind of crazy shit.
Yeah.
So,
birth control and all of that. Couldn't talk to her about that.
Me and my son, dog, we done went through the whole gamut with this conversation, dog. Because I let him know, dog, I don't care how embarrassed you feel, whatever, me and you can talk about this shit. Because I would rather you talk to me about it than for you to go out here trying to discover it on your own and make a fucking mistake. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I don't want you to do that. I plan on when my daughter come of age, having the same conversation with her.
Yeah.
Because I don't want her getting taught about sex through some other young nigga who don't know what the fuck he doing. And now y'all got a baby together. Well, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
But see, that's like, I started talking to my kids at that shit about 13, like 12, 13. I started really having conversations. Recently, I went to the spiritual side and how to, you know what I'm saying, how to look for certain things. But my son said, he came to me the other day and said, Dad, unfortunately, we got to have a certain type of conversation. I said, first of all, before this conversation even start, it's never unfortunate. Whatever you got to talk about is important enough for me to sit here and listen. Don't ever use that word with me whenever we talking about any type of conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you got to learn. It's something that if I can, I'm going to help teach you and I'm going to help guide you as best I can. Don't ever think that my word is law. And don't ever think I'm going to always be right. Shit, you know what I'm saying? We doing this shit together. We growing together. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to have those basic conversations with my kids, man, because like even when it come down to the child support shit, right? I don't believe in that shit at all, me per se, period. But like I was never taught the man side of child support. Like my mama said, well, I got child support on your dad, but I never understood how it truly affected my dad. You know what I'm saying? Except one point in time he got locked up and I was like, okay, you can get locked up for child support shit. But like understanding the law and how that shit works for the men, we ain't got a fucking say so in hell when it comes to that shit. Man, you got to prove so much to even try to get custody of your kids. And the money you got to spend with these lawyers, oh my fuck, bro. That's like trying to beat a dope charge, dog. I'm just like, I was having a conversation with a lawyer one time about that shit. I was like, say what? Yeah. He said it's gonna cost this much to start the paperwork. nigga, what? Nigga, I ain't got no cocaine in the trunk. I'm just trying to get my child or get something. You know what I'm saying? Like the fuck. But yeah, man, like men don't get rights in Georgia to their kids, even after you have legitimization and all this other stuff. Like Georgia, the state law of Georgia is based for the women. It is. We ain't got, man. I can give you some stories on that shit.
Once you gotta legitimize, that's what give you your right.
Okay, guess what you get the rights to every other weekend. That's it. It don't go no further than that.
Visitation. Oh, okay.
It don't go no further than that. And in order to get your kids in the state of Georgia, as I know of now, you have to prove them as like they on drugs real bad, they doing some extra shit, or they just not a good parent. Like you have to, man, and your shit got to be airtight like a Fed case for real. If that shit ain't airtight, that shit ain't gonna work.
Well, in that case, yeah, I'm saying, but if they're not a terrible parent, not on drugs, anything like that, your kids ain't broken up and this, that, the third, then hopefully, I guess the problem would be the communication between you and the parent, I'm thinking. And at that time, you probably want to try to do counseling.
Right. What you were saying earlier, Stacey, about how your parents always tell you to sit down and shut up and do what you're supposed to be told, that causes a communication issue between you and your spouse later on too. I was watching somebody explain that on the psychological level of it, right? And it was like anytime you have a problem, you get anxiety or something, so therefore you don't speak to your partner like you should, and that goes back to childhood, you know what I'm saying, trauma when it based on shit like that. And I had to think about it, like, dang, is that why I don't want to have hard conversations? Like, cause I knew I couldn't go to mom or daddy with these hard ass conversations type thing, man.
Oh wow,
I used to be like that with my wife.
About me.
For real?
I used to be like that with my wife. For real, bro, because like growing up, me and my mama didn't really, you know what I'm saying, like real shit, bro. Like growing up, I didn't really have some type of conversation with my mom. You know, as I got older, you know what I'm saying, we like that now. But like at first, no, like bro, like I used to hide a lot of my emotions. You know what I'm saying? Shit that I really wanted to say. I used to be like that when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like I never used to tell people how I felt. I would just keep that shit to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like even like believe it or not, like with girlfriends, all that stuff, like girls I used to like, I didn't go talk to girls that I used to like and stuff like that. Cause I'm afraid of what they gonna say. I used to have like a fear of rejection.
I was the same way,
just off of the strength of just off of the strength of the relationship I had with my parents, because I used to feel like if I go say something to them, I'm gonna get something negative back. So that shit just translated into my adulthood, where it's like, I don't want to say how I feel because I feel like I'm gonna get something negative back, so I'm gonna just shut the fuck up.
Or I'm gonna get shut down.
And if somebody like me, they just like me, that's cool. But I'm not gonna tell them at first that I like them because I might not get the answer I want, so I'm gonna just shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I was like that for a long time, bro. Real shit.
I'm like you, cause it's not that I'm afraid that it's gonna be negative. It's just that I'm gonna get rejected.
Man,
well, and I told you no, dang.
I had a strong fear of rejection. A really strong fear of rejection.
I ain't even gonna lie. Like, right? So I felt myself in the same place Stacey was a couple years ago, right? And I just went to shooting my shot. I didn't give a damn who it was. I just went to throwing up motherfucking shots. Right? And
sometimes
and what I learned was it ain't as bad as you thought it was. You know what I'm saying? It's just you just got to put certain shit on the table. You know what I'm saying? And then shit you might
had the fear in your mind though, but see, the fear in your mind had you thinking it was worse than what it was.
Exactly. Nigga went to shooting out the gym.
In your mind, that shit was ingrained in your mind that it was gonna be worse than what it was.
Yeah.
That shit crazy how that shit come back full circle though, man. Like that shit be wild, bro. But man, we had a great conversation, man. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. We've been on here an hour and a half. That's enough content for y'all to chew on to the next week.
Hey man, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, man. I will be coming back to the Stay Dangerous podcast. Maybe I'll have my microphone hooked up to my old ass laptop. I might have to do some wiring. You know, I'm good at that kind of stuff. We might figure something out.
Hey, that shit up. Listen, I'm telling you, setting up my room the way it's set up now, and I'm still learning shit, bruh. I became a whole nerd. My cuz called me earlier today. He was like, "Hey man, how you fix a hard drive?" I said, "What you did to it?" And he just showed me the pieces of it, and I was like, "Well, it ain't broke. You just gotta da 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 da." And he was like, "Say what?" So I had the video chatting to show him what to do, and he was like, "Man, I can't do all that shit." I'm like, "Bro, it ain't that hard. You just got to put in the effort to do it." You know what I'm saying?
I still got these motherfuckers from 2000.
Hey, I got two of them. Yeah, I got two of them.
Oh yeah.
Right here.
Well, I'm using my cell phone.
Stacey. The big brick, Stacey. The big brick.
God, hey boy, you know it.
Hey, boy.
Look at that. My daughter texted me them bruised the toe. Lord have mercy.
Oh man, she done bruised the toe, man. But man, appreciate you for sliding through.
I think I broke it.
No, you know if you broke it.
I said, can you move it? Yeah, it hurt when I bend it. I said, well, it ain't broke.
Exactly.
It ain't broke.
You done sprained it. If you can move it, it ain't broke. You're all right.
Yeah. But man, we finna get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shouts out to Charles, Nigeria, my boy Carlos, Street Money Ye supplied it. One of my producer partners. I don't know if Creature jumped in here.
My oldest brother checked in, man. My oldest brother Roselle had came through, man.
Okay, that's who that was. Appreciate you for coming through, bro. Tagging all them people in there. We sure appreciate that, man. But
that's my oldest brother.
Make sure y'all comment, man. Make sure y'all drop comments. Make sure y'all share. I'm gonna start uploading little short clips too, but I got to find time. But you know how that go. Hustle don't stop, the grind don't quit, as T.I. say, man. But we gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna be bringing us another special guest on in a few short weeks to talk about some real estate stuff that's happening in our neighborhood on 5th Ave. But y'all stay tuned, man. I'll let y'all know when that shit happens.
You do know, before you get out of here, you do know right there on 5th and Peacock, that's my grandma's house.
5th and Peacock. Peacock coming back up this way.
You know what it look? All right, imagine you on 292. Boom. You turn down. You turn down what is that?
Mhm.
Fifth?
Oh, what we
That's
went to
it
for the
right there.
protest? What we went to for the protest where we parked the cars at? When we did the protest.
Well, yeah. Right, you're right. But if
Yeah,
you
go
go
down.
down to that stop sign, that house right there on the left, right there, boom, with the porch on it, boom. That's my grandma's house on the left, boom.
I ain't know that.
Yep, and the house
They just
beside
built-
it,
is it
and
the
the house
gray one they just put
beside
down?
it. Huh?
Is it? Didn't they just build a gray one over there? That gray house.
That ain't the
I
one
think
he
somebody
talking
just
about
put a gray
though.
house over there. I think.
I ain't rolled past it,
Oh.
but yeah, that's my great grandma's spot, man.
They building some houses over there.
I just
I
figured
talked to
out.
the guy who was building them, but yeah.
I just figured out where Grandma Doretha's mama stayed, and the heritage that I'm finna look up. Oh my God! I'm encourage everybody to do that, and don't do it through that ancestry bullshit. Do not do the DNA thing, man. I'm telling y'all some other shit behind that. Do not do the DNA thing.
I got an auntie that's pushing 90. She pushing 90. She'll tell you everybody I'm kin to in the whole family.
Get one of them.
She knows
Please.
everybody.
Yes, find one of them. Find
I know
the
all my
elders.
cousins. I don't need ancestry.
I don't.
I would like to see maybe where my DNA come from in Africa or something, but as far as ancestry go, I know my whole family.
Yeah.
Phillips, Greens, fucking Rawls, Lees. Yeah. I got a big family.
I'm kidding everybody about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't, but
I know my family.
my reasoning for doing it is before my uncle passed on my daddy's side, like that was the weirdest shit that ever happened to me. He told me how far the lineage went back all the way to the slave plantation, and that shit just been stuck in my mind. And like I'm gonna do both sides of the family, like for real. When he told me the slave plantation grandma came off of, great grandma came off of, like it shook me. And then after he told me that he died that Wednesday, just mysteriously passed that Wednesday. So it's like I got to find out that shit was put on me for a reason. So yeah, man.
Right.
So we finna get up out of here, man. Stay Dangerous Podcast. Peace, love, and like, comment, subscribe, and share wherever you watching us at. Salute.